Darkcast Network. The light shines brightest on our indie podcasts.
Well, Brandy,
Brenda.
we are two 40-somethings on a podcast, and I'm not ready for that.
As opposed to
Me being in my 30s.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that.
You were in your 30s when we started the podcast, too. So us being in our 30s when we started this, and we have rolled into another freaking decade in our lives, that is.
We're humans, you know.
We're humans. I personally want to say thank you to everybody that wished me happy birthday and gave me a phone call and texted and sent messages. It was very, I felt very loved. So thank you guys so much. Did you find my birthday present?
Yeah, Norman fucking put it in another room. Because, you know.
Does he just move stuff around?
Yes, he just puts shit in places. And I'm like, where is this? Where is that? Oh, I put it over. Why? It doesn't even, like, literally, shit ends up in cabinets. I'm like, why would it even, what sense does it make to be in there? How can I use it when it's in there? He puts fucking toilet paper in the cabinets, in other rooms. I'm like, so when you have to wipe your ass and you don't have any toilet paper, you're gonna leave the bathroom to go in there to get the toilet paper? How does that make sense?
It does not. But I think men don't make sense. So,
literally, like, this is some pins. Oh, I put them in the garage. So, how can I write? I need the pins, and they're in the garage. Well, I was just trying to get them out of the way. Plenty of other places you could have put them, not in there.
Oh my God, that was intense. So Bryony, what's going on? Happy Easter weekend.
Is it? I'm glad it's a 3-day weekend.
Or today, when you're listening to this podcast on Friday, or whenever you are, we're happy you're listening. Hey, listeners, I'm so sorry. How are you? Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for listening. Brandy.
Yeah, thanks.
So what's been going on? You want to update us on anything?
Nope.
We haven't talked to you since the Blitz Bazaar. The Spring Bazaar.
Really? No, that's not true. Is that true?
It is true.
As far as I know, I am still looking for get-rich-quick schemes, so a Ponzi coming near to you soon. to a I don't know how did
to an email near you.
Yeah, there you go. so I can flee the country to parts unknown, undisclosed location, and live out my life fishing and by a fucking pond or something. I don't know.
Let's go. We're gonna go camping this year, and I think we should have a good time. Bren really wants to go camping.
A gay old time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but does it really matter to her where, like, you could go camping in your backyard? And
That's what Mom said. Mom was like, you can go camping in your backyard.
I mean, does it really matter to her where?
I don't think it really matters as long as we're all together.
Does she know what camping entails, or does she just want to sleep in a tent?
I think she just wants to sleep in a tent.
Mm.
I think she just wants to sleep in a tent.
So if there was, like, a cabin, camping in a cabin, would she have a problem with that?
I think she'd like that.
I'm just saying, like, there's all kinds of camping, quote unquote camping.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what does she believe camping to be?
I think she just really wants to stay in a tent and be outside and maybe roast marshmallows and sleep in a tent. Sleeping bag. No, she wants to sleep in a sleeping bag.
Oh, girl, she can do that in the house on the floor.
But I think she knows you're supposed to, like, be outside or at least somewhere else besides in your room.
Or on the floor in the living room.
Yeah.
Maybe in the front yard.
We can do it in my backyard. I'm telling you, I can make a campsite back there.
Look, rent it out.
I'm thinking of like
Casa de Hepburn campsite.
Listen, talking about get rich quick schemes. I was seriously like, okay, this could be a fucking venue for different things. You know, like, oh, I want to get married at your house. All right, cool. Pop it up back there. You know, we could do it like we did the reunion, or people could like camp and visit Hepburn Pond.
Hepburn Pond. Okay.
You know, all the things.
I haven't done that in a while. I want to restore this or remodel this, fix up this trailer so, we can use it.
Oh, us. Me and you? We can record it.
Well, so I can use it.
Okay.
But, yeah, so, I can make use of it because it's sitting there and it needs a lot of work. So the chick that I bought it from was like, oh, yeah, you just have to do this and this. I'm like, no, you need to, like, this thing needs an overhaul. It's not a freaking, like, a quick fix.
It's a gut and remaster or something.
Yeah, because, like, the edging is, like, broken. So, like, there's literally, like, a hole, like, in the bottom part, like, where the wall and the floor bind together in the corner of the edge on the bottom. So it's open, like, it's, there's a big gap there. And she's like, oh, you just have to put that back on. I'm like, first of all, it's aluminum. So it's all bent up. It doesn't you can't just like, oh, we'll just put it back on. Like it requires a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe they have, trailer restorers, people who restore things for money.
How much did you get it for? Like $2,000?
$2,500, I think. Yeah.
$2,500.
Yeah.
So
it's a vintage camper.
I'm just saying, like, if you get someone to do all this work in it, you are investing in it and you're putting more money into it, making it better, obviously. But it's just money.
I mean, people, you could like literally flip it for like $36,000.
Dude, people are really buying mobile homes, and the prices of those have gone up like astronomically.
Yeah, but mobile homes it's not quite that mobile.
A vehicle that you could sleep in. You could say, "Hey, available. Does it move? Do you have a truck? You need to tow it because it's kind of like Grimm.
What are you talking about?
Like Nick's cabin, where he had all the books and the stuff.
Oh, he has an Airstream. Those are really like Airstreams are nice. They're so compact. Like you can just. This is like a trailer that needs a whole truck. Like I can't pull it with my car.
Okay. All right. Something to figure out. Okay. So, I'm Sunny Hepburn.
And I'm Brandy Fleeks.
And this is Book of Lies. The podcast.
It's bolt, bitches.
Yes, it is. And we're live on Instagram right now. Did you not know that?
No.
Don't worry, I only have like 15% battery life left, so it's probably going to die.
Hey, look, it's 11:11.
Make a wish. It's a lucky hour. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, if you're watching right now live, thank you so much. Or if you're watching it on the rewind on Instagram, still thank you for being here. If this is on your phone or your streaming device, much appreciated. We even have listeners on YouTube. So what up, y'all? So this is awesome. So thank you guys for listening and being here. You can connect with us if you aren't already on Twitter at Book of Lies Pod, on Instagram or Facebook at Book of Lies Podcast. We have a website, bookofliespodcast.com. You can visit us there, or you can meet us on Patreon, where we have our fabulous patrons. KTOT, Ken, Kathleen, Tara, Amy. Am I missing somebody? Am I missing somebody? I don't know. If I miss you, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna take care of it. I can't remember all the names
because of our millions of
patrons.
There you go.
Yeah, millions of patrons we have. I don't know about that, but. Either way, thank you guys for listening, and thank you for being here, and thank you for your support. Brandy? What are we talking about today?
Today we're going back in time because I like to time travel. And we are talking about Cassie Chadwick, aka Andrew Carnegie's illegitimate daughter.
Like Carnegie Hall?
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Cassie Chadwick, who was also known as Elizabeth Cunard, Emily Heathcliff, Lydia DeVere, Lydia Springsteen, Marie LaRose, Cassie Hoover, Cassie Chadwick, Cassie L. Chadwick, and who by her birth name, Elizabeth Bigley.
Okay.
She was born Elizabeth Bigley in Eastwood, Ontario, Canada, or there was like 3 places they said she was born, but Ontario, Canada was the main. I mean, Ontario, Canada is I don't know, what is it, a province that she was born in, and
Ontario,
the city was like, someone said Eastwood, and then there was like 2 other ones that they said. She was born on October 10th, 1857, and her parents were Daniel and Mary Ann Bigley. She was one of 8 children. She had 6 sisters and 2 brothers. And her family the family called her Betsy. Her father, Daniel, worked for the Grand Trunk Railway, so he was gone for long stretches of time. And she was known to be a daydreamer, and she would often like get caught. They said get caught daydreaming.
Are you daydreaming?
And she was, yeah, right. She was known to tell grandiose lies. So,
don't you go off dreaming now, girl. Don't you go dreaming. What does that mean?
I guess daydreaming was a bad thing in the 1850s. I don't know.
Lost in thought?
Yeah, maybe she dreamt of far off lands and like, being rich and famous or fucking who knows. But she was a daydreamer. So there's conflicting stories here. One says she was 14 and another says she was like 20. So I don't know. She was probably 20. I think the history books say she was like 20. When she was 16, she ran away from home and she tried to get a promissory note from a prosperous farmer. She got arrested and they fucking sent her ass back home. And then in 1878, she tried to pawn a stolen pocket watch and she was arrested. Her father paid off the victim and they let her go. Then in the same year in Toronto, she used a forged letter and a fake check to convince people that her name was Elizabeth Cunard. Apparently the Cunards were a wealthy shipping family, and she managed to get $10,000 in merchandise on credit until she was found out, and she ran away to Ontario. Toronto.
Does she not have, it's the 1800s, so women don't have lots of money, I guess.
They're not allowed to vote yet. They're not allowed to own. They're not actually even allowed to, like, get loans from banks.
Okay.
But she pretended that she was from a wealthy.
I'm just wondering what her end game is, like what she's trying to get at.
Well, she's young right now. She's a teenager.
She just wants some money to buy some cigarettes and some wine.
She just wants to buy shit. She just cigarettes and wine.
I don't know what's back then. I have no
wine and cigarettes.
Who doesn't want wine and cigarettes? I'm just saying.
I used to want wine and cigarettes.
Exactly, and she's young, like you said. That's what you wanted when you were young, wine and cigarettes.
I think they were, everybody smoked back then, so I guess. But I don't know. It was in Canada, so,
A. They just said A. That was North America.
I don't know about that. She merchandise, $10,000 worth of merchandise, and then she, somebody fucking found her out. She ran away to Toronto. And then in March 1879, she got arrested again in Woodstock, Ontario, for trying to exchange some forged promissory notes.
Who is she hanging out with, and how is she learning this stuff?
Well, she claimed that her name was Miss Begley, and that she was an heir to $15,000 from an English family. some wealthy English folks that, could not be verified, obviously. And she went to trial on March 22nd, 1879 for passing forged notes. But her lawyers used the insanity plea because she was, being weird. Mm-hmm. And they're like, she's obviously crazy. And she was found not guilty. And also because of her age. At the time, she would have been 21. Mm-hmm. 22-ish. 20. She was born in 1860? 1857.
1857, I think.
Yeah, so she would have been
a baby.
20. Anyway, she got off, and her family was like, we're done with this bullshit. You go with your sister. Her sister was a married woman who lived in Cleveland with her husband, who was a machinist. So she went to fucking Ohio. She stayed with her sister and brother-in-law for a short time before she took out a bank loan on their furniture and used it to rent the first floor house of a woman, some woman, I think her name was something Brown, whatever. She said that she was a widow by the name of Madame Lydia DeVere, and she passed herself off as a clairvoyant.
What a bitch.
She, on November 21st, 1882, under the name Lydia DeVere, she married a man by the name of Dr. Wallace S. Springsteen. Mm. And they got married at the Justice of the Peace. She became known as Mrs. Lydia Springsteen. She moved into his house, and a picture of their wedding appeared in the Plain Dealer newspaper. That led her sister and lots of other folks that she owed money to come knocking on his door. I'm like, give us money. The bitch owes us money.
The bitch owes us money, and we want the money.
After he verified these stories about her past were true, that she was fucking basically stealing, taking out forged loans and shit, he kicked her out. He was like, I am done with you. Be gone.
I guess that's the move to make.
She filed for divorce. He filed for divorce, but he paid her debts off. And after they got divorced, she again started acting as a clairvoyant and started going by the name Madame Marie LaRose. Shortly after that, she married another guy named John R. Scott, who was a farmer from Trumbull County, Ohio. And she managed to get him to sign a prenup because she said she claimed that her first husband was abusive, so she needed him to sign a prenup for some reason.
So you don't abuse me? Is that what prenups do? Stop abuse?
No.
No, they don't.
Maybe in the 1800s they did. I don't know. 4 years of marriage had passed when she decided she didn't want to be married anymore. So she went to a lawyer and basically confessed to being an adulterer and...
Oh, shit.
Well, it says she left a sworn statement confessing adultery, so I'm guessing that she was the adulterer or maybe she accused him of being an adulterer.
He's the adulterer.
But it just says a sworn statement confessing adultery, so don't know. And she decided she was going to file from divorce.
Carol!
Who the fuck is Carol?
Carol is our newest patron. Okay. I knew I forgot somebody, and it was you, Carol.
That was randomly just shouting Carol as I'm speaking.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
And I said I would figure it out, and I did.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Sorry, that was really weird. I don't know. Okay, thanks.
Tourette's, maybe?
A little bit.
She got divorced. But at some point, she had a baby named Emile Hoover. At least that's what the name was on the census records of 1900 in the United States in Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, Ohio. But she also called herself Cassie Chadwick on these census documents, which was, so she had a baby. On the census documents, it said that her son, Emile Chadwick, was born in 1886 in Canada. But this can't be true because in 1886, she was not Chadwick.
Who was she?
Marie LaRose, as far as we know.
okay.
But her child's name was Emil Hoover, but she put his name down as Emil Chadwick, and that he was born September 1886 in Canada on the census documents of 1900. So who the fuck knows? His name is Emil. That's what his name is. So in 1889, she managed to get herself arrested again for forgery, and she was convicted and sentenced to 9.5 years in prison in Toledo. Yeah, she went to prison.
Toledo.
In Toledo, Ohio. But she got out on parole in 1893, and she went back to Cleveland. When she went back to Cleveland, she changed her name to Cassie Hoover, and she opened a brothel. Because why not? At her brothel, she met a man named Leroy Chadwick, who was a doctor and a widower. His wife had recently passed away, and with this in mind, she decided that she was going to woo him. Even though the guys are supposed to be the wooers, she decided that she was going to, play to his recent loss. She pretended that she was a widow who was running a boarding house for women. And he was like, no, honey, we know, the world knows, this is a brothel.
Oh. No. It's just a place for, they're just down on their luck.
When he was like, this is a brothel, she fainted. And she was like, how could I run a brothel? This isn't a brothel. Oh my God, get me out of here. So basically she pretended she knew nothing of the brothelness of her establishment.
The brothelness of her brothel.
And convinced him to rescue her from this. Basically, she asked him to be Captain Save-A-Ho, and he was acting as Captain Save-A-Ho. So in 1897, he married her.
Okay, he really Captain Save-A-Ho then, huh?
Right. So she married him, and there's no evidence to whether or not he actually knew that she had a child, because her son, while she was married to him, was in the care of one of the women at the brothel. One of the women at the brothel.
That's terrible.
Right. So, as Mrs. Chadwick, she started spending money hand over fucking fist. She was buying all kinds of shit. And they lived in an area that was called Millionaires Row. So, of course, the people who lived in this area were affluent, There was Rockefellers and Hannahs and whatnots in her area.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, she's not all kind of people.
Oh my God.
She's not all kind of people. And of course, she tried to get into their good graces. And the only reason that they even talked to her was because of her husband, because he was a well-known doctor. She was spending money hand over fist, and she basically spent all his money. Spent all his money, and during the time...
Do we know what she was spending the money on?
She was just buying shit,
Clothes,
to
drinks.
To look the part of being a wealthy woman.
And maybe that was her whole end game. I want to be wealthy.
Probably. Isn't that everybody's end game when they're doing scams, is to be rich?
I guess.
When I start my Ponzi, that's the reason, is to be rich.
But then what are we going to do with your wealth? What will you do with your wealth?
I already told you I'm going to flee to parts unknown and just be gone.
And just be on vacay all the time?
I'm going to be gone
You're gonna set up
from this place.
Okay.
Maybe I'll open up a little island tourist spot with a bar.
Okay.
That gives me bottomless drinks.
Okay.
Ida K.
Maybe you own it.
That's what I said.
You said that gives me bottomless drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. got it. I get it. I got it. Got it.
Is that not what I said?
Didn't I say that?
So during the time that she was married to Mr. Dr. Chadwick, she would become famous for being a fucking con artist.
Oh, goody.
By pretending to be the illegitimate daughter of Andrew Carnegie. So Andrew Carnegie was a Scottish-American industrialist and philanthropist. He led the expansion of the American steel industry in the late 19th century, and he became one of the richest Americans in history. He was a philanthropist, but he thought that amassing money was like one of the worst things that people could do. So he decided, or he said that people should use their money to enrich society. He wrote himself personal memos on the evils of being wealthy. And, you know, he was one of those people that was like, give your money away. Do good with your money. Do good with your money. A lot of our fucking billionaires can fucking take a note from Andrew Carnegie. She visited New York City, and one of her husband's acquaintances was an attorney by the name of Dylan. She asked him to take her to Andrew Carnegie's house so she could get the credentials of a housekeeper that she wanted to hire. When she came back, she dropped a paper, and Dylan picked it up and saw that it was a promissory note for $2 million with Andrew Carnegie's signature on it.
Fucking... Oops.
What's that?
What did I drop?
I'm going to open it up and look at it. Oh, it has Andrew Carnegie. Oh, $2 million from Andrew Carnegie.
Oh my God, you're rich, bitch. She's playing a confidence game.
So he was like, oh, I won't tell a soul. And she's like, well, he's my dad.
Okay. All right.
He's my dad. He's giving me this money because he's upset and he's embarrassed that, you know, he kept me a secret. So yeah, that's what happened. He was so guilty that he showered her with huge amounts of money. That's basically what she fucking said. And she claimed that there was going to, there was a $7 million promissory note, or I'm sorry, that there was $7 million in promissory notes that she had at her house from him. And that she was
all these checks at home. Okay.
And that she was supposed to inherit $400 million upon his death. Now, $400 million in the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of money.
That's like
billions.
Yes, billions. It's
billions.
She'd be a billionaire today, right? So she managed to convince him to open up a safe deposit box for her, so she could put her check, that document, the promissory note, into it.
Okay.
So somehow word got out that she was the heir to a Carnegie fortune, and banks just started fucking like throwing money at her.
She loved it.
Hey, so this is Joe Schmo from ABC Bank, and I want to loan you $500,000.
I want to give you a credit line here with us of this much money.
Pretty much.
But you guys,
women still are not allowed to open up loans,
and they're just like, here,
at
girl.
This time.
So she's a boss.
But yeah, they're just throwing money at her. So, she managed to, like, she would provide them with promissory notes signed by, you know, his name, Andrew Carnegie. And she would fund, you know, basically she would back these loans with these promissory notes. And, you know, they were fake. So she, for 8 years, got promissory notes or got loans on this name, on his name, on Andrew Carnegie's name. He never met her. She had never met this man. For 8 years, she was getting loans. So, she, at the time, got a bunch of loans that totaled around $2 million, which would be over $50 million today. And she did this because...
This is good. I mean, like, okay, don't get me wrong. Lying's bad, okay? Scams are bad, okay? But she's getting paid. I'm saying, like...
Yeah, and
nice move.
She managed to do it because, you know, she banked on the fact that nobody would say, hey, you know, hey, Andrew, hey, your illegitimate daughter's over here taking out loans. You know, they're not going to call him on, you know, having a daughter out of wedlock, right? They're also not going to say anything because the fucking interest rates on these loans were outrageous.
I bet they think they're making hella money.
Right, and, you know, they're unethical loans, number one.
Yeah.
The interest rates are crazy.
They're like 40%.
And, you know, so they're not saying anything, the bankers.
Right.
So, you know.
Bastards.
Right. So she forged securities in his name for additional proof, you know, when they asked for it.
When they did their vague
when they tried to do, yeah, I mean, it's the 1800s, so basically word of mouth is all you have You know?
Or they'll write a letter and it'll take like 3 months to come back.
Yes.
So they're like, give me this money or what? Okay, well, you know, we did what we're supposed to do, I guess.
Yeah. She lived a lavish lifestyle, you know, while she was getting all of this money thrown at her. So she bought diamond necklaces. They said she bought enough clothes to fill 30 closets.
Jeez,
she bought a gold organ. People called her the Queen of Ohio. And she said that she gave money to the poor and to the suffrage movement, the women's suffrage movement, because again, at that time, women couldn't vote. She was spending money. And so the banks were starting to be like, she's buying all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Where's our money that she owes us? Like, you know, you got to pay back the loans. Mm-hmm. So one banker by the name of Herbert B. Newton had given her a loan for $190,000 in 1904, November of 1904. That $190,000 is worth $5.63 million today. And he was like, she's spending all this money. Oh, and she's getting all these other loans from all these people. So he was like, okay, I'm going to need you to start paying me back. She couldn't pay him back. And so the bank sued her. They sued her. They were like, you give us our money, bitch. She couldn't pay her money, of course. And she, you know, was already in over $1 million worth of debt at that time. Mm-hmm. They also found out that there were a number of securities being held for her in various banks that were worthless. So finally they were like, okay, we got to call it in. Hey, Andy, so we got your daughter here. He's like, who?
I don't know that bitch.
I don't know her. Who?
I don't know her.
And
you've been where?
Mm-hmm. With who? Exactly. I don't know her. I've never met her. I've never seen her before in my life. That's basically what happened. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, I haven't signed a promissory note in over 30 years. What the fuck are you talking about?
Why would I do that basic bitch shit?
Right.
Why would I do that?
Right. So she bounced. She was like, I gotta get out of here. She ran away. Went to the Hotel Breslin in New York and got caught. And so they were like, no, bitch, you're coming back with us. They took her back to Cleveland and when she was arrested, she was wearing a money belt that had over $100,000 in it, which literally is millions of dollars.
Is a money belt like just a purse or something? Or
it's a belt like you can put it under your clothes.
Okay.
And so it's like, did you ever see Gone Girl?
I didn't watch it.
Okay, well, she was wearing a money belt in that movie, and it fell off her, and that's why she ended up getting robbed. But it's just a belt that like you put against your skin and you put your money in it. So it's not like a purse or wallet where you have easy access to it. You like, it's to hide on your body.
Okay. To move weight.
Right. Well, she got caught. She got caught with that. And her husband and his daughter, he had an adult daughter from his previous marriage. They bounced. They were like, we're out of here. But he filed for divorce.
You've embarrassed me.
Yeah. They were like, we're going on vacation to Europe. So they went. He filed for divorce before they left. And that was the end of their marriage.
Well, I imagine so.
The Cleveland banking community, of course, was like outraged. And, you know, it was a whole scandal. She literally bankrupted a bank in Ohio, the Citizens National Bank of Oberlin. They had loaned her $800,000, and she couldn't pay it back, forced them into bankruptcy, and basically broke the bank.
Damn.
They were also a federal bank, so she got an extra charge because they were a federal bank.
And we don't play that shit.
Yeah. So on March 10th, 1905, she was sentenced to 14 years in prison and fined $70,000 for conspiracy to bankrupt the Citizens National Bank.
That was her plan.
And and conspiracy against the government because that bank was a federal agent of the government. Or an agent of the federal government.
That was my plan. I wanted to bankrupt the bank.
Right.
But I guess y'all shouldn't have given her all that fucking money.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have given her access to that money.
Exactly.
Oh my God, my fingers feel so fat right now.
So she went to prison. On January 1st, 1906, she was sent to Ohio State Penitentiary in Columbus, Ohio. She took trunks of stuff with her to her prison cell, clothes, pictures, and furniture.
That's allowed.
They allowed it for her because of her celebrity status. Because this was global news, what she did.
The woman who bankrupted Toledo, Ohio.
Citizens National Bank in Oberlin. Yeah, she was famous. Andrew Carnegie went to her trial because he wanted to see who this person was who managed to do all of this under his fucking name. And
not my name.
She when she went to prison, she started to get sick. And when she started getting sick, she started writing explicit instructions for her funeral that, she gave to her son. And she told him to send some money because she still had money from this shit. So her hidden money, she told him to send some money to Canada for a tombstone for the family plot, which is in Ontario, Canada. And they say she suffered a nervous collapse, which I'm guessing is a nervous breakdown, in prison on September 17th, 1907, which left her blind. So I don't know if she blinded herself while she was in prison. Like, I've never heard of a nervous breakdown giving somebody blindness. She might have had a stroke. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
On October 9th, she was having heart and stomach problems. And she died on her birthday, October 10th, 1907, her 50th birthday.
Damn.
And she was buried in the Episcopal Cemetery, which today is the Woodstock Anglican Cemetery in Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. So I think she killed herself. That's my opinion, because you died on your birthday. Like, she was doing something to herself. At 50, yeah. So
50 is very young.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be 50 in like 10 years. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bring it back to me. No, I'm just kidding.
It's all about me. So that's the story of Cassie Chadwick, who was born Elizabeth Bigley.
She was a bad bitch.
Yeah, she was crazy.
She was something.
She did some shit. Like, she's like one of the most famous con women in the world.
Oh wow, I've never heard of her, but I'm sure some of you have.
They were supposed to have started making a movie about her in 2020 that still hasn't been produced yet, so who knows if that's going to happen. But yeah,
awesome.
There were a couple of made for TV movies, on Canadian television about her.
Brady, what have you been watching? Did you finish the final days of Ptolemy Gray?
I haven't. No.
Oh my god! It's all the episodes are there. I watched it.
My Apple Plus subscription.
Expired?
Yeah. So, and I haven't renewed it. So maybe I'll watch it at Mom's house.
Watch it in the living room right now.
Just watch all of them right now.
I really enjoyed it. It was really good. I didn't think I would, but it was really good. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, like he gets his memory back, like they give him some drugs or whatever.
They give him some drug that it's like, you will regain every memory you've ever had, but it's temporary.
Right.
And when it wears off, you're going to be worse.
Not you're going to die. You're just going to be worse.
You're going to be worse.
Oh, okay. And then he died.
And, he's like, okay, sure. And you get to meet who he was and see the way he thinks and, know what he's been through.
Okay.
He's an interesting dude. So
he's the most interesting man in the world.
I'll just leave it at that. But what have you been watching?
What have I been watching?
Are you watching Moon Knight?
I am not.
It's really good.
I saw some of the first episode at Mom's house and I never went back to it because, again, Apple TV is one of those ones that are low, on my watch list. Of course, I've been watching Abbott Elementary. I think this week's episode was the season finale.
Mm-hmm.
So they went on a school field trip. But what have I been watching? Can't think of anything. Oh, well, did I tell you I was watching Oz?
No.
Okay, so yeah, when Oz came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I never watched it. It was an HBO show. Never watched it. It was like on the same time as The Wire.
Yeah.
And
I just wasn't for prison shit. Like, I just can't get with it. Anything. It can be totally fine, but I can be freaked out. Like, even with Orange is the New Black, I was just like, what's going to happen? But continue with Oz.
Well, I like Dean Winters. He's an actor. He's Mayhem in the Allstate commercials.
Yes.
But he's in it.
Okay.
And he that's why I watched Rescue Me. Well, I liked Rescue Me anyway, but he was in Rescue Me. But I came home one day and Norman was watching Oz, and I was like, I've never watched this. He was like, you never watched it? So I started watching it. It's good, actually. I enjoy it. But so that's what I've been watching. Like, we've been watching it during the weekends. And Daria, like, I always watch. Daria's my go-to show. Like, if I just want to put on something, to have like background noise, it's Daria.
Is it on Hulu or you have DVDs?
It's on. I have the DVDs. You got me the DVD set.
Yeah.
Like
ages ago.
Yeah, but I don't have a DVD player anymore, so I don't watch the DVDs. But it's on Paramount Plus, and it's on what's that fucking show? I mean, not show, that thing. Pluto. It's on Pluto TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it's on like MTV, the MTV app.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can watch it from various areas, apps or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, what's usually on my TV, and Norman's obsessed with fucking Sanford and Son and The Twilight Zone. So, and like other stuff, like stuff that's on Pluto. So like, if I'm not paying attention to the TV, it's on that. And then of course 90 Day Fiance and whatnots.
Dun, 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 dun.
What have you been watching? You said you watched Moon Knight.
I did watch Moon Knight. Jamal, my husband, he's the worst.
Yeah.
He's like, have you watched that Moon Knight? You gotta watch it. So then I catch up. There's 2 episodes. We're caught up, right? And then they released the episode yesterday. On my birthday.
There's 3 episodes?
Now there's 3 episodes.
Okay.
Jamal was like, oh, I just went upstairs and watched it really quick, and then comes downstairs. I was like, fuck you.
Supposed to watch it together. You're supposed to watch it without me.
Rage.
You know how people do. They be watching shit like you're supposed to watch together. Well, I was just,
yeah. It's just
I just wanted to see what happened. Shut up. You can't wait. Damn.
I've been watching that Netflix shit, Ultimatum, like engagement or breakup or some shit. There's like 6 episodes, but it's so fucked up. Like, it's so weird.
I got a notification on Twitter talking about some dude was talking about, I don't even watch reality TV, but my wife made me watch it. Now I watched all 8 episodes or some shit like that. And I was like, why am I getting this notification?
Because they're promoting it.
Suggestion or whatever.
I hate the suggestion ones, but so what it is like, let's say Brandy, you and I are a couple and I want to get married and I won't propose to you. Right?
You want to get married, but you won't propose.
I don't know. You want to get married, but I'm not ready to propose.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait,
I'm the dude.
what?
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But, and then there's one where some of the women don't want to get engaged. Like, the men want to get married and they're like, we're not ready. So they've all been in relationships around 2 years with each other. Like, there's no like really long ones. They're all 20 somethings. Mm-hmm. So they're in that sweet spot for chaos.
Yeah, that I want to be a fuck boy and I want to get married area.
Right.
It's like, you're a fuck boy or a fuck girl. Yes.
They're not all, everybody's situation's different, but I'm just saying, like, they're youngish in their 20s, mid-20s, and their relationship has only been going on for like about 2 years. So they're like, I either want to get married or I'm moving on.
Right.
And so they're like, okay, we brought you on the show to do that. Now all of you guys are all pretty much compatible. Date each other. Everybody date each other.
Why?
And then decide who you want to live with for 3 weeks and pretend like you guys are like getting married or in a married relationship.
Wait, okay. Stop.
And then you have to choose if you want to pick that person and try and propose or go back to your old partner.
I don't even like no. What? What?
It's weird.
No, I'm in a relationship with this person. I don't want to try to date other people. Yeah. Like, that's stupid. What?
So, okay, it's weird.
That's weird.
I don't like that idea. So 2 of the people, the dudes were like, okay, I want to get engaged now. I don't want my chick to be with nobody else. We're going to get married. Whatever our problems were, it's good. So 2 of the dudes were like bitched out because they didn't want their girls to be with other dudes that were there.
Okay.
And so, but then 4 other couples move forward in the experiment, and it's weird now.
Okay, so they can say we're getting engaged and not have to live with other people or date other people or whatever.
They were like, okay, let's get engaged. We don't need to do this.
That's stupid.
It is stupid. And some people were pissed off about it. They were like, hey, you were just, because they're all dating each other. So some dudes were like, hey, you know, if I ask you if I pick you, will you pick me back? And then his girl got picked, and then he went and proposed to his girl. And
proposed to whose girl? I don't understand.
So they're all dating each other, right? They're at the table when they're going to decide who they're going to pick to swap with. Like, who's their swapping partner going to be.
Oh, so they don't randomly get assigned to somebody else. They're like, hey, I'm dating this
I've got
chick,
a connection with you.
but I want to date you.
Yeah, because it's kind of like they speed date for a day or two, and they all, like, date each other and figure out who they vibe with the most. Ew. And who they want to try with.
This sounds like scummy TV.
It's very strange, and I'm into it. But for the couples, like, they're starting to feel each other. Like, they're really starting to have feelings for each other.
The new
couples.
Concocted couples. Okay.
Yeah, and it's weird. But anyway, I've been watching that, and obviously it's a shit show, so check it out. It's on Netflix.
So, okay. There's 4 couples.
That moved forward in the project, yeah.
Okay. 4 dudes, 4 chicks.
Yep.
And they're all dating each other's, or
yep.
One is dating one of the other guys' or other girls'
yes,
partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Technically ex at the time. Yeah.
So they're broken up. Is that what's happened? Like, they're officially broken up, and now they're dating someone else.
Yeah, for 3 weeks to see if they want to connect with their partner or
go back to the previous.
See where this is blossoming to. Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like manipulative bullshit, and I'm like,
well, this is what, so it's fucking, the Lachey's,
yeah,
Nick Lachey and Vanessa, and she was like, you know, me and Nick were engaged, like, you know,
they were with other people.
We broke up, we got with other people, and then we went back and got married. And it's because we had that opportunity with other people to know what we had with our partner.
Oh, Vanessa and Nick dated, and then they broke up and dated other people, and then they went back to each other.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like, wait,
she
Jessica and Nick and
Vanessa, and so she was like, this wasn't public knowledge or anything, but this happened,
right? And
so, you know, that's why we are on board with this project with you people.
I get that part, but what I have a problem with is that they put these people, like, if you're going to say, go date other people, that's fine. Go date other people, but not people that you have to live in a house with. Date somebody outside of this community so that you can see if dating is for you or if you want to be with that person. Not date that bitch over there or that bitch over there.
Date one of those 6 bitches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird.
It's happening. It's happening on Netflix. And then the girls all they all went out to dinner. Like, the dudes went out and the girls went out.
They were talking about each other's boyfriends.
Yeah, and they was just like, fuck that. Like, how dare you say this? And we kissed and what? And like, it's weird.
They're probably all making out with each other, and then they're getting mad because their partners or their exes are making out with these same bitches or whatever. Ugh. Yeah, see, it's messy. That's all mess.
It's messy.
That's mess.
Guilty pleasure.
Like, the scenario I have in my head is that, like, my ex is dating my roommate, right? My ex is dating my roommate, and my roommate is talking to me about my ex, and I still want to be with my ex, but I'm also dating my roommate's ex. And so I'm pissed off at my roommate and I'm pissed off at my ex, but I'm still making out with her ex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what? And now I want the ex and my roommate, or my ex and my roommate's ex. You know what I mean? This sounds like shit. I'm not for that.
It's a mess. It's messy.
Yeah, it sounds messy. It sounds super messy. It sounds like people are gonna get their fucking feelings hurt, and y'all sharing STDs and shit. Like, nah, I'm cool.
Nah, I'm cool.
That's just what it sounds like to me.
Anyway, hey guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. And if you aren't already, go ahead and give us a follow, connect with us, come back. We'll be back again, I promise. And I'm Sunny Hepburn.
I'm Brandy Fleeks.
And this was Book of Lies. The podcast.
It's bold, bitches.
It's bald bitches.